Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Masha, and this is pretty much a video that coincides with my first blog post on mashageorgiev.com. I started a blog to document our cancer journey and path to healing. So my first blog post is titled Pancreatic Neuroendocrine Cancer Diagnosis and How It Started. So I'm basically doing a video for those that don't want to read a lot and it's much easier to just hear it. So I'm going to try to make a corresponding video to go with that. So regarding diagnosing and how we found out is kind of one of the first things that everyone asks us. How did it start? How did you guys find out? What were his symptoms, like what was happening at the time? And I'm not going to be too descriptive in this video, but yet informative enough to give you guys as much information as possible. Also, I'm outside and we do have a very, very, very busy street, so you will hear a lot of background noise, and I'm sorry about that, but I cannot do the video inside because my husband is sleeping inside. So this is the best place to do it right now. So yeah, how it all started back in October of 2021. Right now, this video is being filmed on April 24th, 2022. So about half a year ago, my husband Philip was having pretty terrible heartburn. I mean, it was he normally has heartburn when he eats like tomato sauce or something really greasy or just something that doesn't sit well. And it was always really, really easy to cure. I mean, usually he never took like Pepsid or anything like that. He would just take like a teaspoon of baking soda and a glass of water, drink it, and that's it, forget about it. It was gone. It was never a problem, but this heartburn that he was having was kind of happening all day long. I mean, it was like he would have this terrible heartburn, take some, baking soda or something, and then like an hour and a half to 2 hours later, he was having heartburn again. I mean, it was like over and over and over again. And he's never had heartburn at night. I know a lot of people suffer with that, but this wasn't the case for Philip. But in this particular situation, it started to become that way. He started waking up at night from heartburn. Same thing, taking something for it, and then 2 hours later, again heartburn. I mean, it was really, really weird. So what do, right? Well, you get some medication. So we got some omeprazole, don't know how to say it correctly, but it's something that's over the counter. You can get it at Target or Walgreens or CVS. And we decided to do a 2-week course of that to curb this crazy heartburn that was happening. And it was working. It seemed like everything was fine. However, towards the end of the 2 weeks, some kind of weird new stuff started happening. He started having severe watery diarrhea. I mean, it was like terrible. Just water, just like leaking water, just all 10 to 15 times a day and throughout the night. So what do? You start Googling, like, what does this mean? What is watery diarrhea? Is watery diarrhea connected to omeprazole? All this stuff starts going through your mind, and you're trying to figure out, what is this? And mind you, we don't have insurance at the time, so we can't just go see a doctor. So that's why we're Googling and trying to figure this stuff out on our own. So according to my research, he could have had something called C. diff, which is a bacterial infection in the intestines or somewhere in the stomach, and it causes these kind of symptoms. It causes this watery, crazy, really bad diarrhea. And it's not something that can go away on its own. It has to be treated through a medical professional. So we decided at that point that probably it's good to go to urgent care and just bite the bullet, and whatever the cost is, we'll deal with it and see what's going on. So we went to urgent care. They decided to do some stool cultures, and, test for different things. They tested for 4 different things. I don't remember what they were. I know it was like parasites and bacteria and C. diff and something else, and told us to go home, and if things get worse, come back. So that was the advice. So we went home waiting for the results, because I think it was like 1 day or 2 days or something. We had to wait for the results to come back. So in the meantime, my husband developed a really strong stomach ache. It was kind of, I don't know, it was just like a weird feeling. He would say that his stomach feels heavy, that it feels like there's something like bothering him, and he was complaining of being full to the point where he couldn't really drink water. I mean, he would take like 2 sips of water. He's like, I can't drink anymore, I feel full, like something really weird is happening. At this point, we're kind of thinking, okay, there's some stuff going on, we don't really know what it is, but we're just kind of backtracking and thinking like, what other things did we notice? Well, one of the things we noticed is that he's lost weight, and he's eating the same. His eating habits have not changed. However, he lost weight. So within the last 3 months of the time where we're experiencing this, he's lost about 20 pounds. So, it's not really great for a 6'1" skinny guy who's already pretty skinny. But because of the stomach ache, Philip's mom was like, you guys just go to the ER and just get a CT scan, and just, no matter what it is, just go find out if there's a blockage or like, who knows what the scan shows, but just go get it done. And because he's not feeling good and all this stuff is happening, we were like, okay, we need to go while we're still waiting for the stool culture results. So we arrived at the ER, and the doctor, they did do a CT scan indeed. And while we're waiting, we're thinking we're just there with a stomach ache, everything's fine. I mean, he doesn't feel good, but they'll give him some medicine and everything will be okay, right? Wrong. The doctor comes in, terrible bedside manner. I mean, to give this kind of news, it was just absolutely terrible. And he says, you better sit down. I have some very bad news for you. You have cancer. It's pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. It has spread to the liver. I'm so sorry. And those are like literally his words, and he's getting ready to walk out of the room. And Philip and I are just staring at each other. We're just like in shock. And we're like, what? Like, what did he just say? Did he just say what I think he said? And he's going on, like, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna send you guys a referral to the oncologist, this and that. You're really lucky you're in Portland. There's really good treatment options. Like no big deal. You have stage 4 cancer. It has spread everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but it has spread. And you're lucky you're in Portland. I mean, like, it was ridiculous. And then I remember asking him about, eating. I'm telling him, well, he can't eat. He's feeling full and he has a stomach ache. And he's like, oh, it's totally okay. You can just drink Boost and Ensures and you'll be just fine. And I'm thinking, Boost and Ensure? Like, what? I was just, I don't know. It was just so hard. It was the worst day of our lives. Worst day of my life, worst day of his life. And I was just like sobbing and bawling and crying all the way out of that emergency department. And oh, it was just terrible. I'm sorry for all the background noise, guys. So then, we go see the oncologist that we were referred to. He actually has really great reviews, so it gives me a little measure of comfort. But at the same time, I don't know, we just don't know. So we go meet with the oncologist, and of course, what does he say? Well, you need to get a biopsy. Biopsy is step number 1. Find out what we're dealing with, what kind of cancer, how aggressive it is. In the back of my mind, all I can think about and all I can remember is that a biopsy will spread the cancer. I mean, logically, it makes sense. The cancer is encapsulated. You're putting a needle into it. This was a needle biopsy. And you're poking it, right? And then you're withdrawing the needle, and that stuff will spread. I mean, those are the thoughts I'm having. Those are the thoughts he's having. We didn't know what to what kind of decision to make. But after a lot of praying and thinking and researching, we just kind of decided, well, we do want to know. We want to know what kind of cancer it is. We want to know what kind of treatment is best for it. We want to hopefully find a specialist that specializes in this kind of cancer. You know, there's a lot of things that are beneficial from getting a biopsy. At the same time, could it be possible that the biopsy spread the cancer? Yes, it is possible. Could it be possible that it spread his cancer? Yes, it's possible. You know, we just don't know. Nobody knows for sure. But we went ahead and did it. So about, I don't know, 2 weeks later, we got back the result of the biopsy, and it came back as pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor. Well, that was the official name. It was grade 3. Neuroendocrine has different grades, and it has a Ki-67 index of 40 to 50%. That was his initial biopsy findings. And I will make another video about neuroendocrine cancer. What does the grade mean? Is the grade the same as a stage? No, it's not. Stage 4 means it's no longer confined to one organ. So anytime that a cancer is in more than one organ, it's already going to be stage 4. So his is stage 4 because it was from pancreas to the liver. And grade 3 does signify that this neuroendocrine cancer is a little more aggressive, or could be very, very aggressive. The whole Ki-67 being 40 to 50%, how it was explained to me, it's kind of like if you take a blob of the tissue and you kind of blob it there, and you're checking how many cells became new cancer cells. Well, the percentage of that for Philip was 40 to 50%. So that was like the medium category of, it's like, it's not the worst, but of course definitely not the best. So that was the initial findings, which changed later on, but I'm gonna make another video about that. And that's pretty much how we found out. It was terrible, very scary, and I was just doing a lot of research and trying to learn as much as I can about this cancer, and at the same time finding a lot of Facebook groups and talking to our friends who maybe have had cancer or maybe are in the medical industry. I mean, we just talked to everyone and anyone that we knew. And from there, the next step was, well, I heard from a sister in Los Angeles who had the same kind of cancer, but different grade, a lower grade. And she explained to me that you really, with neuroendocrine, it's very, very important that you find a neuroendocrine specialist. There's a whole website, and you can look up a specialist that is in your state or in your town, and I will link that below this video for anyone who needs it. And through that website is how we found our neuroendocrine specialist. His name is Dr. Pommier. He is here at OHSU, and that is his specialty. He's been doing it for, I believe, 30 or 40 years or something like that. He's like very published and has all this experience, but that's great. But, you know, they have their own pluses and minuses. I mean, regardless, I do feel as of right now, as far as an oncologist, his hands are the best hands that we can be in, as far as what we can find and based on what I know. So that's where we are right now, and that's gonna be the end of this video. But I will be making more videos and more blog posts documenting our journey, and there's so much information, and this is only the beginning. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe below, and please share this with anyone whom you might know that has cancer or neuroendocrine cancer particularly, because that's what we're dealing with here. So thank you guys so much, and have a great day.